from the Taiwan Strait to the Indian border, from the East China Sea to the South China Sea. China often uses the J-20 stealth fighter as a scare tactic. But does the J-20 really scare off enemies? China has deployed its most advanced J-20 stealth fighter jet along the Taiwan Strait in the latest move to threaten the island. According to the information, the J-20s also deployed near the Ladakh region during the border tension with India last year. The fifth-generation fighter J-20 is China's first and only stealth fighter that has entered combat service today. After its maiden flight in 2011, the J-20 joined the People's Liberation Army Air Force in 2017. According to the South China Morning Post, Beijing has deployed at least 4 air brigades, including 150 J-20C fighters, to monitor the Taiwan Strait. China is also planning to widely deploy the J-20 stealth fighter to areas that China considers sensitive, such as the North Korean border area, the Taiwan Strait, East and South China Sea, and Indian border. The focus is on the Taiwan Strait and Indian border. Tensions between China and Taiwan have increased continuously in recent years, when China believes that Taiwan is intending to become independent. In particular, the Taiwan Strait area is the center of tension. The last major crisis in the Taiwan Strait occurred in 1995 to 1996. During an exercise, the People's Liberation Army fired a salvo of missiles into the narrow waters to remind Taiwan of its One China policy. In addition to the show of military might, the constant incursion into Taiwan's airspace by fighters and bombers, along with the deployment of the J-20 stealth fighters. This is a signal of dissatisfaction with the growing US support for the island. China is clearly annoyed by the growing harmony between the US and Taiwan, especially that the US, despite China's objections, has sold Taiwan many modern weapons. Along with that is the US Navy patrol in the Taiwan Strait and surrounding areas. In recent times, the US Navy's Alibert-class guided missile destroyers, most recently the destroyer USS Curtis Wilbur, which conducted routine patrols through the Taiwan Strait. This action then China called the US the biggest risk maker. China's most frequent action today is to use J-11, J-16 fighters, H-6K bombers, and reconnaissance aircraft to invade Taiwan's airspace. Taiwan has had to repeatedly deploy fighter jets to prevent incursions. However, if this is prolonged, it will consume hours of operations of Taiwan's fighters. So recently, Taiwan has deployed radar and anti-aircraft missiles to track and monitor Chinese aircraft. To deal with China's J-20 stealth fighter, Taiwan has deployed a passive radar, specializing in tracking stealthy targets. According to the Chengdu National Institute of Science and Technology, Taiwan, these radar complexes, which will take advantage of the ability to detect stealthy targets, help Taiwan improve the early warning capacity of the defense system. As for India, during last year's border tension event between the two countries, there was some information that China deployed J-20 fighters at Houghton Air Base in Xinjiang province, located about 200 kilometers from the disputed border with India. US Defense Intelligence recently confirmed the presence of J-20s at the line of actual control between China and India in September 2020. This development comes after information about India's deployment of new warfare fighters imported from France on the Sino-Indian border. Although this is a 4++ generation fighter, it is enough to cope with the J-20. According to India's Eurasian Times, the Indian Air Force had deployed Su-30 Mark I, MiG-29 and MiG-29K fighters in the border area, along with newly imported Rafale fighters, ready to deal with China's escalating actions. My video about the Chinese J-20 stealth fighter answered. Thank you for watching. If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos. Tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại quý vị và các bạn trong các video tiếp theo.